Good morning, viewers of Ash TV, and thanks for joining us for this other edition of your program entitled A Week Review. Remember, in the first part of this program, we are going to do a recap of the news that ran throughout the week, and in the second part we are going to receive our guest who is an agronomist, Tambo Rigobert, who with me is going to discuss the main topic of the week. Next we are going to receive William Tadum who will come with his chronic. The last but not the least, we shall have the segment entitled No Comment. For now, don't go far, remain comfortably seated. We shall be right back just after this pause. Let's open with this brief in politics. For the second time in less than a year, John Frundi, leader of the Cameroon main opposition party, the SDF, was kidnapped by the separatists last Saturday night and later released. The 77-year-old leader of the Social Democratic Front was kidnapped as he was taking lunch following his return from the hospital after a medical checkup. Sources says his bodyguard was reportedly shot on the leg by the armed men before taking the chairman away. Eyewitness account says the chairman stepped out of his house to verify after hearing gunshot, but was immediately pulled away at the gunpoint by armed men who bundled him into a red vehicle before taking him away. If you're just joining us, you're watching your favorite program entitled Week Review. Let's talk security in this other edition. The 7th session of the Cameroon-Nigeria Trans-Border Security Committee has been held this Thursday at the Palais de Congrès here in Yaoundé, presided by the Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atangaji. Both countries are working hand in gloves to eradicate insecurity in the two countries. During 2 days, both parties worked on measures to eradicate the Islamic sect Boko Haram, which has been plaguing the country for several years already. The minister was speaking on this occasion. Let's have a view of his excerpt.
Experts should use this session to identify and propose to both governments appropriate measures to reestablish peace and security along the threatened common borders. Specifically, they have to take stock of the security situation along the common borders since the holding of the last session, reinforce the fight against Boko Haram, which has to be eradicated in all its forms. On the sideline of this above-mentioned workshop, governors from Cameroon's administrative regions and federal states of Nigeria will meet in their usual forum to examine issues of common interest.
The head of the Nigeria delegation to Cameroon equally encouraged the Cameroonian government for the effort that they are doing in their fight against the Islamic sect Boko Haram. Equally, they encourage their struggle in the fight to restore peace in the English-speaking regions of the country. He was speaking on the occasion of this event. Let's have a view of his excerpt.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me stress that we will continue to monitor the activities in southeastern Cameroon and encourage the Cameroonian authorities to continue to engage all aggrieved parties in a constructive manner to de-escalate tensions in the Anglophone regions. This will facilitate the return of Cameroonian refugees that have crossed the border into Nigerian territory due to heightened tension and apprehension.
The 6th edition of the International Trade Fair of Agri-Food Industry officially opens this Wednesday at the Musée National of Yaoundé. This event gathered both exhibitors and some authorities who came to encourage the agriculture sector of Cameroon. Cameroon has been faced with a problem of food processing and industrialization. Siali is therefore an opportunity to tackle these problems related to agri-food industry. It is equally an opportunity to showcase Cameroon's richness to the world. The trade fair that kicked up this Monday will close its doors this Sunday, 7th of July. A reporter spoke with one of the exhibitors on the ways out to raise this sector here in Cameroon. Let's have a view of his excerpts.
This is the support program for root and tuber, a program of Cameroon government. You know that cassava is a high perishable product. When you work cassava, you have to process it. Through the support that we are giving to farmers with this machine you are seeing, we promote the processing of various value chain, like gari, watafufu, flour, and other products like chips.
Still in the news of this week, a delegation of 25 students, interns of the National University of Defense School of Zimbabwe are in Cameroon to acquire some notions. They were received last Wednesday by the Minister of State Property and Land Tenure, Henri Ayisi, during a ceremony. The leader says this internship will go a long way to help them acquire more knowledge as well as share the little they have with Cameroon. He was speaking on the occasion of this ceremony. Let's have a view of his excerpts.
The issue of land is a very important issue in national security. It is one of the means of production. Without land, you can't have any production. You can't have any development. So we are here to learn from Cameroon's experience and share with them the little that we have. In our country, the management of land is not the domain of the Ministry of Defense. We only protect the territorial integrity of the territory. So in short, that's a brief resume of why we are here and what we will learn from the exchanges that we will have with the Ministry of State Property Surveys and Land Tenure.
A workshop to present the guideline elaboration of the local plans of development and sustainable development of the territory of Cameroon has been examined this Tuesday at the Montfebe Hotel. The first stage of this work was carried out from 2014 to 2016. This come together aims at educating the public on spatial planning, given that this concept hasn't been sufficiently developed by the council. The GIZ PADER project has been put in place to develop tools which will help in solving these problems. One of the members of the GIZ PADER was speaking to our reporter on this occasion. Let's have a view of his excerpts.
Actually promoting the notion of spatial management in Cameroon, and as already explained by the presenters of this workshop, this is sufficiently anchored in the 2011 law of orientations on spatial planning with different tools and instruments foreseen at national level, especially the National Land Use Management Plan, the National Zoning Plan, and at the regional levels you have the Regional Management Plan, the so-called SRAT in French, and in local level you have the Council Land Use Plans, the so-called PLAT, that we are talking today about this methodology. Fortunately, the councils have a long-lasting experience of planning, development planning. However, the element of spatial planning has not been sufficiently developed. So this the council level local land use planning is going into local level spatial planning. And not just planning for planning's sake. We have to use the territory to increase agro-pastoral, silvicultural productivity. Farmers should be able, and livestock grazers should be able to use the territory in a more productive way, and for that you need a proper planning. You plan how to use the natural resources. You have to plan the investment in infrastructure to be able to valorize, to add value to this.
The solemn closing ceremony of the 47th promotion of interns of the diplomatic protocol of Eureka has been held this Thursday, chaired by the Minister Delegate of External Relationship, Adum Gagum. He encouraged and congratulated the students for their brilliant performance. There are about 26 students, of which 9 Cameroonian, 6 Chadians, 11 Congolese who benefited from these 10-month trainings. Let's have a view of one of the excerpts of the laureate.
The message that I can say is that we have to work. The key of success is work, the work. You have to work very hard. You have to be a very serious person. You have to build patriotism also, because I remember that when I was with my other classmates, we are coming from other countries. I always think about this kind of thing, that I have to be the first in the class, because I represent all my country, Cameroon. And we have to develop this patriotism and also be serious, and also work. That's why I can say that.
The 21st celebration session of the committee in charge of social security has been held this Monday, chaired by the Minister of Works and Social Security, Gregoire Owona. The main articulation of this meeting was to raise measures that will help promote social justice in our country, the validation of the resolutions of the 20th session, and the presentation of different exposés, among others, marked this consultation. In his speech, the Minister of laid emphasis on social dialogue, which is a tool for the development of our country, Cameroon, on the occasion of the celebration of the 100th anniversary of the International Labour Organization. He called on all Cameroonians to be responsible as they carry on their duty. Let's have a view of this excerpt. He was speaking on the occasion of this ceremony.
Thank you very much. This consultation, Janamiri was called upon to address the situation on our routes, where there are many controls. And what we have said is that the National Jandarmerie has implemented many measures. One of them is the drastic reduction of the posts of the controls upon our highways, and it can be seeable when you are traveling between our big cities. Now the controls have been very reduced, and people are moving as freely as possible. The second aspect is the free toll number 1501, which is put at the disposal of each and everyone to denounce any problem he has with gendarmerie. It can be on the road, it can be in a brigade, it can be everywhere when gendarmes are concerned. If you are not happy with what is done and you think that you are right, step down, you have to call the 1501 01. It's a free toll number. The third thing, Janamiri has also squadrons and people that are on the spot, even if they are not seeable because they are not in uniform, but they are doing the work to be sure that what is to be done is well done. And when it is
the call for the recruitment of 100 teaching staff in the University of Yaoundé 2 has been made known in a press release this week. The rector of the University of Yaoundé 2 invited applicants this Wednesday, 3rd of July 2019, to embrace this opportunity. The call is open to Cameroonians of at most 45 years old who must have completed their PhD or doctorate degree. The faculties involved are the Faculty of Law and Political Science, the Faculty of Economics and Management Sciences, the Advanced School of Mass Communication and Techniques, just to name a few. This initiative is a way of boosting the education sector here in Cameroon. The rector of the University of Yaoundé 2 was speaking to the press on this occasion. Let's have a view of his experts.
This recruitment should be situated within the special operation initiated by the head of state for the recruitment of holders of PhD in our state, 8 state universities. And we seize this occasion to thank the head of state for this very important operation for our universities. We have to recruit, as far as the University of Yaoundé 2 is concerned, a total of 200 holders of PhDs. But for this year, we have opened 100 positions. The person to recruit should be holders of PhD and can be recruited as assistant lecturer, senior lecturer, even as full professor. So we have carried, for the time being, the procedure within the departments, which are the users of those teachers to recruit. They have given their own opinion on the candidates. The schools or faculties have also studied the files. They have given their own opinion. And now this commission, which is within the university, the last step, has to give her own opinion. And after that, the rector will address a report to the Minister of Higher Education.
Youth of the Global Shapes Community Association gathered this Thursday at the parish of Saint-Pierre-de-Cong to plant trees. We know help clean the air we breathe, filter the water we drink, and provide habitat to over 80% of the world's terrestrial biodiversity. This was an opportunity for this association to sensitize the public on the importance of planting trees. One of the members of this association was speaking to our reporter, Lynn Chakunte. Let's have a view of her excerpts.
The importance of planting trees, we are actually fighting climate change. There is a lot of gases that are being given out, the ozone layer that is being destroyed. So planting these trees actually helps. It's a means to be able to repair that layer, trying to fix what we have spoiled. So yeah, and these trees also, the trees not only bring in fresh air, the trees also help to beautify the environment. Through this project, youths have been sensitized. They have known the importance of tree planting, the importance of reforestation. And also through the same project, we have learned how to plant, because there was a horticulturalist who was there with us, and he showed us the procedure.
The first edition of Beauty Challenge has been held this Tuesday at Kosup in Yaoundé. This cultural event is a way to promote and encourage learners of the beauty domain. At the end of these competitions, the winners were awarded prizes by the organizers, who promise to redouble effort in the next edition. Other activities such as musical display and a fashion parade equally marked the first edition of the Beauty Challenge. The president of this association was answering to the question of our reporter, Emmanuel Lundu. Let's have a view of this excerpt.
And the objective of this Beauty Challenge is to permit the young trainees in different professional schools to come and exercise their know-how. Yes, you see, those who are doing professional hairdressing and those who are doing aesthetics. When it comes to aesthetics, we have things like makeup, which we have decided to choose makeup as part of the show. And then when it comes to hairdressing, we have things like married hairstyle or wedding hairstyles. We have artistic hairstyles, and we have classic hairstyles. So we decide to let them work on those we've just chosen, so as to permit them next time to be able to, participate, should in case there's an event, let it be out of the country or in the country, so they will have that.
Now we talk sport in this edition of Your News. The defending champions Cameroon and Benin played out a goalless draw, allowing both sides to progress into the last 16 of the African Cup of Nations. Cameroon started the match brighter and had several chances in the opening quarter hour. Meantime, Cameroon are preparing for their match against Nigeria, which is coming up this Thursday. We remain in sport in this edition of your program Week Review. An agreement has been signed between the Minister of Sport and Physical Education and the African Olympic Center this Thursday. This convention will enable the good functioning of the African Olympic Center. The two institutions will from henceforth work hand in gloves in order to enable the smooth running of this center. Gabrielle Messina was there for us and she brought this excerpt. Let's have a view.
The president of administrative board of our institution to thank the political authorities of this country, notably the President of the Republic, His Excellency Paul Biya, he has given a strong commitment in the achievement of this program. And secondly, to thank also all members of government who has helped us in order to succeed in this operation. And I'm happy on behalf of the community of Olympic community to thank this country for this convention. This convention can help us to receive assistance from Cameroon in terms of financial assistance, in terms of technical assistance, in order we can have all facilities, all diplomatic facilities for development of working. So I'm very happy.
Here we are in the second part of this program entitled The Guest, as we announced in our headlines. Today we are receiving an agronomist who is Rigobert TAMBO. Good morning.
Good morning.
How do you do?
I'm fine.
You're welcome to Ash TV. Well, you are the head of the component production in the root and tuber support project of the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development.
Yeah.
Equally, by profession, you are an agronomist. Once more, we wish you welcome to Ash TV.
Thank you.
Given that the CIALI, that is also known as the International Trade Fair of Agriculture and Food Processing, that has been launched since Monday here in Yaoundé, has already started. With you, we're going to talk about the agriculture sector in Cameroon, given that it's very important to talk of the agriculture sector in Cameroon, knowing fully well that is among the main occupation of over 70% of citizens and contribute also enormously to the country's economy. So now, as an agronomist, what are the difficulties that you observe in this sector here in Cameroon?
Thank you very much. Agriculture in general, we are facing so many problems, but that can be solved.
Yeah.
The first problem is the access to seed.
Yes.
If you want to have good production, if you have firstly good seed.
Yeah.
The second one is the access to the market. You can see that from the seed I go rightly to market, because the production itself,
yes,
the technical itinerary, most of the farmer master it. Then after that, you will see that within the seed production and the market, you have a lot of contingency, yes, like lack of land, yeah, lack of input. It's not even lack, the input are very expensive.
Yes.
Lack of other infrastructure like route, farm to market route, yeah, and so other problem that we face in agriculture. To solve this is a now, holistic package.
What about you talk about the problem of distance, routes, and all the like?
Yes.
What about the part of the equipment that is? I know the sector is not that developed. That is most of the producers or farmers still use local means of production, enabled to carry out with their farming activities. Do that not cause any problem to that sector?
It causes. That is why the government, during this second generation agriculture, yes, as the head of state plan, we are going to talk about infrastructure to solve it. But know that most of our farmers are in a remote area.
Yeah.
The nature of the soil, the way the soil is, it does not permit everybody to use those equipment. So we cannot avoid using cutlass, hoe, and those small equipment.
Meaning definitely here in Cameroon, we are always going to, that's why we're going to limit ourselves with the type of tools we use to farm because of our, because of the soil?
No, it's a process. Okay. You see those, when you go to highland, yes, we are not in a plain.
Yes.
When you go maybe in the south, you have forests. You cannot just use those type of equipment directly. It is a process. You will start to prepare your land in such a way that you remove all the roots.
Yes.
You remove all the things that cannot allow the tractor to enter your farm. You see, it is a process. You cannot just, because it needs a heavy equipment.
So at which stage are we right now, if you want to talk of Cameroon?
We are in the stage of regrouping farmer, restructure groups in such a way that, because a single farmer cannot use a tractor.
Yeah.
You understand? A single farmer cannot go and hire a big equipment. So we are in the phase of regrouping farmers in cooperative. Because a cooperative having 500, 1,000 farmers can easily buy such equipment and use it.
So now we're talking about the cost also, meaning it's expensive.
It's also expensive, but you have some few farmers when you are on the way going to maybe to Mbanjo. You see those big maize farm. they are using already modern equipment. When you go to extreme north, you will see people using big equipment. But what I want to say, it is a process. A single farmer cannot use a tractor.
So knowing fully well that all these equipments are expensive and that most of our population depends on agriculture to survive here in Cameroon, what are the measures that have been done as the head of the component of the root and tuber of Minade? What are you people doing in order to help these citizens to acquire this equipment so they are going to produce more and also gain more?
Yes, in my sector in particular, government have put in place.
And what's the sector, if you can remind us the sector?
Cassava sector and potato, Irish potato. I don't like the word Irish, is potato.
Potatoes.
Yes, government has put in place a strategy to come to accompany farmer to increase their production. The strategy will start by giving farmer small tractor, we call it motoculture.
Yeah.
To hold their farm.
To hold their farm.
Yes. We give small loan for farmer to hire tractors for those who are capable to hire the tractor.
Yes.
Those are small measure. A part of hoe and cutlass, obviously, we used to give to farmer. But know that we have two categories of farmers. Single farmer who they are single or association with 1 to 5 hectares. We have another group from 5 upward.
5 upward.
Yes, those people are the people that will mount their dossier to the Ministry of to the Minade.
The Minade,
yes, to let them have a tractor. You know that the Ministry of Agriculture can offer tractor to group of farmers.
So what's the procedure? What should they do for the government to offer to these farmers that consider themselves at times as poor farmers these tractors?
We have a department, department of farmer organization.
Yes.
Farmers who are organized can go there to find out the process. We call it DOPA, Direction des Organisations Paysannes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a whole department who can restructure groups and know when and how to give them such equipment. For us, with the small budget we have, we cannot afford to give such equipment. But when it concerns like irrigation equipment, equipment to process cassava, we can offer that up to 10 million to a group.
Now, looking at the agricultural sector here in Cameroon, and I would actually like to reinforce that because even in the president's speech, he said most youth should go back and farm because most of the time that is where they can acquire more money and all. I would like to ask, are all the measures put in place to help these youth to actually go into farming?
Yeah, there are measures, but I want to say that for a youth to go to start farming, he should have a business plan. What am I going to do? What am I going to gain?
So we should not just jump into farming like that?
Yeah, farming is a business. You should not jump. You should do your business plan.
Yes.
For us in root and tuber, when you bring your business plan, we study it together. Somebody say that I want to start production 10 hectares of cassava. I will tell you that you cannot do 10 hectares cassava in 1 year, even 2 years. You will start by 1 hectare. This is why this is where government can provide you support in that your business plan.
Yes.
We can support you in this line or this one or this other one. In this other one, we can direct you. So you should go to the Ministry of this or the Ministry of Youth. You can go in this project, you can have more support, but you should first have your business plan. You should not go in agriculture like somebody coming out from his house in the morning and just take a ball and start kicking.
So if our youths have a good business plans before looking how to get into farming, they are actually going to survive? That's what
yes,
you're saying.
you have the business plan, you know where you start, you know where you go, where you can gain, where you can learn. I know that in agriculture, when you put your money, it's not the first year, not the second year, maybe it's the third year. They have to explain it to you that as you are putting your money or your effort,
yes,
you need to wait for 3 years before coming back, before gaining your investment and start thinking of benefit.
Wow.
They have to explain to you. It's not just that you just leave the town or as you are in the village, since you have been doing agriculture every day, you think that you can continue like that without profiting, because everything in agriculture is supposed to be profit.
Yeah.
When you spend 1 franc, you should gain 2 francs. At worst, you recover your 1 franc.
Yes. Now, talking about the International Trade Fair of Siali that is actually presently going on, tell me, because you are an exhibitor equally right there.
Yes.
So, are you thereby telling us that for those who like to come and visit this International Trade Fair, they are going to, there are measures, there are people there to orientate them on how to do? Can we find all of these persons there present to help these youths better develop their activities?
You have in various stands what we call prospectus.
Yes.
From the prospectus, you go through and see what the project,
what can help you,
what can help you. You just take contact. Then after the contact, you come in the project and discuss. Like for us, we are preparing the second farming season in this area.
Yes.
Yes, in this area, we are going to give out cassava cutting around August. When you come in our stand, we will explain that government will give cassava cutting, government will give potato seed.
Yes.
In August. This is how you are going to do in order to have your seed of cassava and potato. All the people there are explaining through the prospectus and through all the technicians who are around.
Well, thank you very much, Rigobert TAMBO. Let's remind our listeners, our viewers, or rather say that you are an agronomist and you enlighten us today, or you enlighten youth on how they can better develop their project. So right now, thank you first of all for coming.
You're welcome, madam.
Voilà. We're going to take William Tadum for his chronic, but before then, let's have this pause.
Pour l'élection Miss Siali 2019, on en reparle un peu plus tard. En tout cas, madame, messieurs, vous nous rejoignez pour l'élection Miss Siali 2019, on en reparle un peu plus tard. En tout cas, madame, messieurs, vous nous rejoignez.
On va descendre sur les...
Now let's receive our other guest. You know him so well, William Tadum. Good morning.
Good morning, Imelda.
So what are we going to talk today in our chronic?
In our chronic this morning, we are going to talk about the indomitable lions of Cameroon. So, what I have to say this morning to the indomitable lion of Cameroon and to the whole nation is that the lion must respect their own contract with the nation or with our nation. What the people cannot forget is that the indomitable lion of Cameroon arrival led to the African Cup of Nations tournament in Egypt. We all know why. They were asking for more money to the sport authorities. There were no way out that day, and they said money or no trip to Egypt. These attitudes has been severely criticized by the opinion and by those pretending being patriotic. Fortunately, the stakeholders finally found a common ground for that issue. The question is, who promised what to whom? Molecule Narcissus and the sport authorities promised to give an amount of money to the football team players. Now it seems that the Cameroon sport authorities respect the part of the compromise, the part of the contract, the part of the deal. The indomitable Lions of Cameroon promised to them and to the whole nation that they are going to bring back the trophy of the African Cup of Nations. The deal has been written and signed by the stakeholders. What is astonishing is that the indomitable Lions dare to say they wish not to be disturbed by visit of authorities. Their wish has not been violated until now, and you know, a promise is a debt. We all know how it is very important to always respect a deal. Tomorrow our national team is going to play against a giant of African football, the Super Eagle of Nigeria. Dear indomitable Lion, the fatherland did not leave you alone. The state paid his due, and now it is your time to pay yours. This is now the true beginning of the competition. The break is over. All the nation is waiting for you to honor her. There is no doubt you can transform your promises into fact and actions glorifying our nation. It is no more time to talk and to justify. The Super Eagles are about to take off, and what you have to do is to win. All what you have to do is just to win.
You heard him so well. That is a message of William Tadum to the indomitable Lions of Cameroon. They are going to be representing us this Thursday on the match. They are going to play against Nigeria. We thank you, William Tadum.
Always delighted to do it. All the pleasure is mine.
Well, as we earlier announced in our headlines, you had everything today being brought to you. The recap of the news of the week. Actually, our guest was a part of us. We thank Rigobert TAMBO, who is an agronomist who clearly explained to youth on how they can do to develop their agricultural project if they have any. Equally, we had a rubric, The Chronic with William Tadum. We equally have the last segment entitled No Comment. We thank each and everyone that participated in this program. For now, bye-bye. See you next Saturday when it's going to be 10:30 a.m.